Hello, welcome to Artistic Adventures. Today I'm introducing you to some maybe new dolls for you. They were for me, Bru Dolls. Let's get started. Hello everyone. If you haven't been introduced to these little cuties yet, these little chubby cuties, this is an Island Bru doll. How adorable is she? They come with different expressions and they're called this is a pouty Bru. And then there are other ones that have different expressions. So it gives them a lot of character. And also their body is just too adorable, the little chubbiness. I'll show you the body in a minute without the clothes. But these are real BJDs, real ball jointed dolls. They're made out of resin. And she has a wig that I made for her. So that's how she looks without the wig. She has the magnetic closure head. And you can see that I've inserted eyes with the clay or whatever that stuff is. And they could be changed. And then, of course, the hook that holds the string that runs down into her body. It's really elastic. So she's a real ball-jointed doll, not plastic like some of the other dolls that we've worked with. So I just became enchanted with these little dolls. Let me show you her chubby little body. This is one that I've been working on. This was the first one I got, and I've been working on her and pretty much have her finished, except this elastic is gonna make me angry. All right, there we go. So here's her little dress. Now she does come with another pair of hands, which you would have to do, restring, because these are not pop-on. These are actual ball jointed dolls. So she comes with, let me see, I'll show you what the hands look like. She came with extra hands and some of the clay and the eyes. And then I did the face up. So these are like a pointy finger. I'm trying a new camera deal. In case you noticed that I'm fumbling around a little bit. I've always struggled with positioning the camera so that you guys can see and my hands are not in the way. So I learned that in my editing equipment I can flip the video. So I'm actually filming upside down. That's why I'm a little bit disorganized or moving weirdly. So I felt like this way I could get good lighting and you guys could see, instead of the way I was doing it where I was positioned over my shoulder, and a lot of times this hand was blocking everything. So anyway, that's our little Bru doll. Now there's not a lot of clothes available for them yet. So when that happens, I end up having to make them clothes. And that's not my favorite thing to do, making little clothes, but I can do it. So this dress, basically what I do is I'll take a paper towel and sort of fit it to the body and trace where what I think the design should look like. Then I will use a darker pen, make a pattern on real typing paper, and save it so that, scan it and save it so I'll have it in the future, and then you can just cut out the pattern. So the dress I'm going to show you how to make in my next video that I do will be one similar to this but with some other options. This dress I like because it has the elastic sleeves, and I want to show you how to do that on a small dress like this without wanting to kill yourself. And I did use my sewing machine to do some decorative stitching, and I put lace, this eyelet lace underneath, so it sort of looks like a petticoat. There's such a short body that you don't have a lot of real estate to work with, but I think you can do some really cute, interesting things. So for her face up, I did pastels and watercolor pencils. I did put eyelashes on her and blushed her body gently at the elbows, the navel, the knees, and her little bottom. And then she sprayed all over with Mr. Super Clear so that her face and body is protected. And I also made her wig, and I'll be showing you how to do that specifically for her, because once again, wigs, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to buy a 1/4 size or whatever, 1/3 size doll, because she's such an odd shape. She has an oddly shaped head for the size body, and so there aren't a ton of entrepreneurs out there doing the dresses for her like there are, say, Blythe or some of the other ball-jointed dolls. So that's why I'm doing this. I decided I was going to not just make the pattern, but make it available on my Etsy site so that people, have some options if they want to do that. So what I did is I sketched out my pattern and pasted it to a piece of paper, scanned it in. Then I used my editing software to add the captions. So eventually you'll be able to buy this pattern on my website if you're interested, and I'm going to show you how to make a dress with it. But I wanted to talk some more about these dolls, and just to give you a little more information in case you're, interested in them. The other thing that's kind of difficult for them is shoes. They really have a unique footprint, literally a footprint. It's a little bit larger than Blythe, mostly wider, because they have a little chunky foot. So if you try to buy like the size of 1/4 BJD shoes, they're too long and not wide enough. Let me just take a wig off because it's going to keep falling off. So what do? If you don't want to make shoes, which making shoes for these small dolls is tedious, and I can do it, but I don't really want to. So she comes with these sponge in case she gets a little mark on her. It usually takes it right off. And thank goodness for Mr. Super Clear, because it's so great at protecting their faces. These sponges usually come with every doll from either Japan or China, so you can clean them. All right, so back to shoes. So what I have found, just to let you know, that these shoes fit. These are the tennis shoes that they advertise for Blythe. You can get them on a lot of different stores. If you want to pay next to nothing for them, you can go to AliExpress. And they have them for about $1.92 or $2 each. And they come in all different colors. So these are cute, and they can make a really cute outfit, but they're not great for dresses necessarily. So I found out another few shoes that I have bought that did fit. You can see these shoes are pretty wide, because the length of her foot is pretty much the same as Blythe, but the width is the problem. So if it's not a really wide shoe, it's not going to fit. But that shoe, it's a Blythe shoe, but it fits great. Now, I dare say it's probably a little bit loose on a Blythe. So what you really have to look for are the measurements to make sure that it'll fit. And it's not just the outside measurements, because let me show you. I have a pair of shoes here that I think are super wide on the sole. Like, these look so wide. In fact, they probably look wider. Well, yeah, they're a fraction wider than these shoes. But they don't fit because the inside is narrow. There's leather, the the upper part, the vamp, I guess that is inside. And also, you know, they're stitching on the outside, which even though the sole looks pretty big and pretty wide, it's really not that wide. I thought these would fit her, but they don't. So these fit her, even though they look smaller. And these shoes fit her. Now, these are really large. They've got to be large on a Blythe. And you can just tell, looking inside of it, that it's pretty wide. So they fit her even with socks on. And you can see the bottom there. And then I found these shoes fit her. I'm pretty sure all these shoes came from AliExpress, except probably these. I can't remember where I got them. Maybe somewhere on Etsy. But these shoes are sort of like these. They're wide, and they're wide inside as well as outside. The thickness of the outer material is just not that thick. When you get these ones that are made out of actual leather, they tend to be thicker on the inside. And then these shoes I found. They also fit her. I think it's because they have the soft material too, you know, like they give a little bit, so you can just, you know, jam her foot right on in there. So anyway, there are shoes that will fit her. You just have to really kind of look at them and look, you know, make sure they're wide enough. And sometimes that's hard to do from a picture. I've thought about maybe asking some of my favorite shoemakers from Etsy if they could make shoes specifically for this doll, because they're just not that available. They actually store for Island Dolls, which is who makes this doll. The only shoe they have available are these tennis shoes. They don't even have a lot of shoes. They have very few clothes too, and they do have some wigs, but I kind of like natural fiber wigs instead of synthetic, so you can curl them, and I think they just look more natural, so I really don't like them that much. And well, I'm going to show you a boy doll that I made next. This is my little boy, Bru. Now, his face is kind of a smirk, maybe. And this, you can tell he's like a little bit, like the lid is a little bit lower, so he's kind of like smirking attitude. He's got attitude. So let me tell you what I did with this particular outfit. When it comes to little t-shirts and things, there's no way that I can buy material, make them much cheaper than you can get them and pay for them, especially from AliExpress. So this is a Blythe t-shirt that I cut off. It's way too long for his little chubby body, but it worked great once I cut it off. And I did the same thing with this jacket. This is a Blythe jacket. I cut the sleeves about 1/2 inch off and re-hemmed them. I ripped with the zipper ripper this band off, cut about 1/2 inch off, and then re-sewed the band on, and it fits him perfectly. So there are ways to get clothes if, you know, you're willing to manipulate them a little bit. But I thought this little jacket was perfect for him with his little smirk. Now, the overalls I had to make a pattern for because there just really wasn't anything out there that I wanted. And he's got the little black tennis shoes on. I kind of like them barefooted because their little chubby legs and feet show, but I thought he looked great with this outfit. So his overalls are long, and I did make a pattern for this also, and I cut it out of paper towels, and then I cut it out of paper, and oh, they don't have sleeve. Yeah, so it looks, you know, kind of like that. The front's just a little bit lower here than the back, and otherwise they're almost identical. This might be just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to also do a video on making this pattern, and then I'm going to also make it available for sale on my Etsy shop for a very modest amount of money, like $2.99, $3.99 or something like that. Now, I didn't give him eyelashes, but he does have a wig. I'm not going to take it off because his is made of alpaca fiber, which is like working with spider webs. Honestly, it's just so fine. I'm really preferring this material, which is the Tibetan lamb fur. It's still very soft, and you know, you can curl it and everything, but it's a little bit coarser. Not coarse, coarser than a spider web. I guess is how I want to say it. This alpaca fiber, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's pretty, but it gets everywhere. It's all over our house. Whenever I make a doll, you can tell what color hair the latest doll is because it's all over our house. It clings to my clothes. Oh, my husband hates it. So anyway, that's the little boy doll and his little shoes and his jacket. So there are options for clothes, and I'm going to put these up on my site so maybe people will, you know, can get the patterns and make them. And if you're so inclined to get yourself one of these cutie pies, then you may want to check that out. I will, when I do the actual making of the dress and the overalls, I will put a link to my Etsy shop for the pattern. I don't have them up yet. I put snaps on the overalls so that they're easier to take on and off. And I think they'll look really cute. I'm also going to do a pattern for some OB11 size doll, a jumper kind of similar to this, and put it up because a lot of people would like to have more options for clothes for those dolls. Also, they can run pretty expensive when you start to try to find them. I mean, if you want to pay $20 for this, and you can make it for next to nothing because it's just, you know, tiny bit of material, and then you need ribbon for the straps and the little buttons. But other than that, you know, it's pretty inexpensive to make them. It's time consuming, and that's what gets me sometimes is I spend a lot of time making these tiny clothes that I feel like I really can't charge enough to get the price of the clothes worth it. You know what I'm saying? If I was buying them for my personal use, it might be different, but I just like to dress up my dolls when I sell them because I think they have more character. And I mean, if you buy a doll like this and spend money on it, and then you've got to turn around and buy an outfit and shoes and socks, you're going to spend another $50 or $60. So that's one thing people don't understand, I think, about the dolls that I sell. When you buy one and you're getting some really cute shoes that I've sourced and that match, and either I've made an outfit that took me time or I've paid for an outfit, the prices can add up. It's not just the doll. You know, it's not a doll from, you know, a mass production. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind doll. So anyway, those are my Bru babies, and the next video we're going to make the dress, and then we'll make this sort of, I guess, overalls is what it is. And I'll show you how I cut off a t-shirt to go with it and everything. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed meeting these two cutie pies, and I'm happy to introduce you to some maybe new dolls for you that you haven't seen before. I really adore them. I think their expressions are great, and I love their little chubby buddies. So here's the last view of our two cuties. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't seen these dolls, that you now love them, and if you have already seen them, just got to view some more of them. Anyway, I look forward to working with them and showing you some dresses and things we can make for them. So if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe and hit the like button because I don't want you to miss a thing.